I want to remain strong and independent and able to care for myself and also to help other members of the family, to pick up the grandkids and play and run with them, to be able to get up off the floor.
Yeah, that independence is huge.
I just took a 3-week trip to Japan to visit my family and friends there.
Cool.
And because of a temporary medical problem, my husband wasn't able to lift things. So I did all the heavy lifting of the luggage and whatever was needed.
Welcome to Real Women, Real Results, the podcast where we go beyond the reps and dive into what it really takes to live a stronger, healthier, and more confident life. I'm your host, Jamie Revelle, women's fitness expert and founder of W3 Body Women's Training Gyms in Chicagoland. Each week, we'll bring you real stories, expert insights, and the tools you need to create real results. Let's get into it. Welcome back to Real Women, Real Results. I'm your host, Jamie, and today's episode is all about rewriting what aging looks and feels like. So many women in their 60s, 70s, and beyond are told to slow down, to stick to light cardio or yoga, and to avoid lifting weights. But at W3 Body, we've seen the opposite happen. Women getting stronger, more confident, and more capable as they age. My guest today is living proof. Francine has been a longtime member at our Berwyn location, and she's a total inspiration. For years, she stuck to cardio and group fitness, but once she switched to strength training, everything changed. Her energy, her outlook, and even her bone density. Francine has reversed her osteoporosis and is now in her 70s feeling stronger than she did in her 60s. So let's dive in and hear how she did it. Francine, welcome, and thank you for being here with us today.
Yeah, thank you.
So let's start by going back a bit. You've been with W3 Body for years, but for a long time, you were mostly doing cardio and classes, right?
Right. I was doing the cardio and classes. I belonged to a different gym before, and I started at Women's Workout World when I was 44 years old. I looked it up.
Oh, awesome. We go way back then. That's great. Yeah. Awesome. And so what originally drew you to those type of workouts?
I think at that time my goals were cardiovascular fitness and also burning calories.
And did you ever feel hesitant or intimidated by strength training back then?
Back then at our gym, we didn't yet have strength training that I knew of. It was mostly machines and then cardio and other sorts of group fitness classes out on the floor.
Yes.
And then when strength training began, I'm not sure how many years ago that was. Initially, it was kind of like a military-style boot camp, and I could hear yelling and calling out people who couldn't keep up. And having grown up and been obese as a child, I did get a lot of, making fun of and bullying, and it kind of just sounded like that same kind of bullying to me. So I wasn't attracted to it then.
Yeah. Yeah. No, then, of course you wouldn't want to start at that point. That's not fun.
No.
Yeah, I think it's interesting because a lot of people think about strength training. Well, maybe not so much now, but back years ago, myself included, I would add some weights to my cardio routine and think that that's strength training. Or like, yeah, I'm definitely getting my weights in. But it absolutely is so different. And in fact, it doesn't have the same effect. And you can negate a lot of the, I hate to say gains, benefits of strength training from a really good program if you're doing so much cardio in the same day and elevating your heart rate and keeping it there all at the same time. So it's interesting. Yeah. And it's interesting that you say that about like a boot camp style thing that, that wasn't appealing. And I understand why, especially as someone, like that, you're just breaking into it. It's brand new. That's tough for sure.
It was, very intimidating. And it seemed like there were a lot of heavy lifters, that it was for, the women who wanted to lift heavy.
Yep. Yeah. Interesting. And did you do any machines or anything at that time, or was it mainly, like we said, cardio?
I did some machines.
Okay.
Not very much, though, just for biceps and triceps, that sort of thing.
Okay. Yeah. Some basic stuff. Okay.
Yeah.
So when you were mainly doing cardio, what type of results were you seeing or not seeing at the time?
I would see, mostly gains sort of in my appearance in terms of burning calories and losing weight,
Okay.
along with a changed diet. So
Oh,
I was
great.
focused mostly when I was younger on how I looked.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And how did that routine make you feel physically as well as mentally?
It felt good physically. I felt my cardiovascular health was good. Balance and flexibility were good. I always did, whenever there were yoga classes offered, I did those as well. And also, we also had Pilates.
Mm-hmm.
So I
Awesome.
was more of a, I never considered myself athletic. I was more drawn to dance and yoga,
Okay.
throughout my life. So I was drawn to those that had really good music that you could move to.
Yeah. The music is always what initially draws people in. It's so important in a group setting. Well,
Yeah,
in
fun.
fitness in
Yeah.
general. Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
Absolutely. So was there a point when you realized something wasn't working the way that it used to, perhaps?
Yeah, as I got older and started having bone density tests, I developed osteopenia. And I thought by doing the cardio, which is a form of, it does also help. It's weight bearing.
Mm-hmm.
It's weight bearing. And then also with calcium supplements, I thought I could head off development into osteoporosis. It turns out I didn't.
Yeah.
Was, yeah, about 5 years ago, diagnosed with osteoporosis. My internist recommended that I go to an endocrinologist and try medication. And I thought rather than do that, maybe a lifestyle change would be as helpful. And if it could be, then why not try it?
Mhm. Yeah, absolutely. What out of curiosity, what led you to want to kinda take matters in your own hands in that way? And I ask just thinking how many people get that, I guess, diagnosis or get that type of news from a doctor and say, "Okay, I'll go to the endocrinologist," instead of, looking to do things on their own, such as strength training.
Gosh, I've always been the kind of person to try to make a lifestyle change before going to medication. I'm not
Mhm.
opposed to medication if it's necessary, but if you can make a lifestyle change and have the same result,
Yeah,
and possibly longer lasting results without any side effects, then why not go that way?
absolutely. Yeah. Are you glad you did?
I am glad.
Yeah.
I didn't I thought I'd wait to see the endocrinologist until I tried, the strength training, adding
Mhm.
that.
Yes,
Mhm.
definitely. So can you talk a little bit about how did that news feel? Like you were taking these supplements, you thought you were doing things that were going to help, and then you get this news. Like, how did that feel and what was going through your mind at that point?
Gosh, how did I feel? I felt alarmed, and I felt really old. And I felt like I hadn't been able to I was not in control of my health.
Mhm. Yeah. And you're like, time to get control for sure.
Yeah.
So, you were a member at our gym at W3, and then you decided, I want to try strength training with you guys. What made you finally take that leap? Hopefully, you looked over and you were like, well, they're not yelling at people. So,
There was no except for team. Sometimes
yeah,
in team, there's some yelling.
for fun.
But no, I could see it was more of a quiet, individualized approach. Not necessarily quiet, but individualized, very much individualized. There were heavy lifters. It seemed I could start at my own pace.
Mhm.
I got to know some of the trainers, and they were very kind people. And
Perfect.
also some of the women who were in training. One woman had told me that she was middle-aged and that she was doing strength training, because she had an adult disabled son, and she needed to be able to care for him. She needed to be able the strength to lift him, especially in an emergency.
Yeah.
And so, there are all sorts of reasons that people do strength training.
Yeah, absolutely. So, do you remember your first semi private session and what stood out to you the most?
My first semi-private session, yeah, I found out the trainer for that session, later on told me how, concerned she was for me, how frail I looked.
Mm. Wow.
She didn't say that at the time, but she told me later, and, how I felt. I felt a little intimidated, being older. I remember early on, I would ask for some concessions because of my age, and none of the trainers have it. They treat me just like everyone else, and that felt good. That
Uh-huh.
felt good. It made me feel capable. It's very,
Totally.
very good. Yes. Uh-huh.
That's awesome. Yeah, something I like to say to new members, or even prospective members, just to get them to understand what our goal is as your coach, is to meet you where you are and get you to where you want to go. And that can be ever changing. But when someone's a beginner, we want them to know that we got your back. We're going to help you out and make sure that your form is perfect and then help you progress over time. And for someone who's been in the program a while and it is very capable, then we're still going to meet you where you are now and still help you to progress and get you to where you want to be in the future and to continue to strength train. So I like that phrase a lot because it helps, I think, people to understand, like, okay, this can be for me. Like, I don't have to be at that level yet. I'm at my own level. So what surprised you about strength training once you started?
Well, I was no longer intimidated. I felt very much supported by being in a group setting with a competent, attentive coach.
Mm-hmm.
I felt that my individual health or fitness level was taken into account. I felt like I was not going to be permitted to do anything that would harm my body. Form was always topmost over weight. You get the form down and then begin to add weight to it. I guess I was surprised at how comfortable I felt.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. Uh,
Yeah.
mhm.
And how about, of course, then the trainers helped you. How about the other ladies in the group? Like, what's it like, training next to could be someone similar in terms of age, body composition, or someone very different, but we're all women trying to, get healthier and better our lives. So in that way, like, yeah, what was that like? Or what is it like? Because you're still doing it, of course,
Uh-huh.
just
Oh,
to train next to
mm.
other ladies.
Training next to other ladies. I mean, at first, there was someone in one of my groups who was around my age, and she had been training for a while, and she announced that she had moved from a size large coat to she had recently bought a small.
Aw.
So, little stories. We talk to each other to talk about gains, meeting goals. I understood finally that for the heavy lifters, these are women who've come to be so strong that in order to benefit from the weight training, they need heavy weights,
Mm-hmm.
in order to fatigue the muscle, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
and I
You
can
are correct.
fatigue my muscle just as well with a lower weight because that's where I am.
And everyone has different goals, and some want to continue going up in weight, and some are just looking to maintain and get that challenge in that way. But that's so true about fatiguing muscles because that's what I keep preaching to all my sessions. Like, if you are not feeling those last reps, then we gotta push a little harder, go up in weight. Well, you're proof that the body can adapt at any age. How did your strength and bone density start to improve once you committed to lifting?
Once I committed to lifting, and I have actually my measurements from age 70 to 71. I started at age 70.
Awesome.
And, well, in terms of my bone density, I no longer have osteoporosis. And
Congratulations.
in my spine, my bone density significantly increased by 5.4%. In the hip area, I'm back to osteopenia, which doesn't sound like a big deal, but I think it is. To keep yourself out of the clinically significant range, even though the bone density is not average,
Mhm.
um, it's expectable for my age, and I'm going to keep working on it. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So yeah, next year, and I'm in my third year of training. So next year, the middle of the
Wow.
year, I'll have another bone density test
Awesome.
because we get regular measurements, right?
Mhm.
So when I first started training, I got the full routine.
Mhm.
And then 1 year later, I got it again.
Cool.
So in that first year, so from age 70 to 71, I lost 10 pounds. My fat percentage went from 40, almost 42 to 37. I lost 3 inches in my waist, 3.5 in my abdomen, 2.5 in my hips. My muscle percentage went up I think because I had lost weight, the percentage is a little deflated, but
Mhm.
from 23% to 25.3%.
All right.
And then my biological age was 63 at age 70, and at 71, it was 59.
Awesome. That's one of
But
people's favorite measurements to see go down.
yeah, but what I was most pleased with here was that my visceral fat went from 10 to 8.
Hmm.
And I'm not an exercise physiologist, but I understand that anything over 12 is excessive.
Hmm.
So, and that's the most dangerous fat as far as cardiac health.
Yes.
So I was really, really pleased to see that.
That's awesome. Wow. Congrats on all of that success. That's amazing.
Mm.
Very cool. And when you look back now, I mean, outside of these incredible physical changes, how about mentally, emotionally? I imagine like confidence in the gym has risen specifically for strength training.
Yeah, feeling a greater confidence in one area of your life can really transform and be felt in other areas as well.
Hmm.
So yeah, and just in general, exercise is very good for the mood, and being able to manage mood. That's one thing as a psychologist I would say a lot to patients, and also encourage patients to do things that are beneficial in the long run, even though you're afraid or anxious to do it.
Hmm.
And I thought I'd put my practice, where my mouth is, and go ahead with the strength training. Yeah, that would help me too.
Totally. I
Yeah.
think it's something, for you with your patients and for us as coaches, it's good to put ourselves in those situations to remind us like if we are preaching strength training or we're preaching try something new. Or try this. I know it's going to help you, even though you're feeling anxious. Well, we need to remember what that feels like. So it's good to put ourselves in those situations too, because we're relatable at that point.
Oh, exactly. Yeah.
Hmm.
For coaches and therapists both.
Absolutely.
Uh-huh.
You mentioned that your last bone density scan showed improvement. That's awesome. How did you feel when you got that news, especially as compared to how the news you got before about your osteoporosis?
I felt really good about reaching that goal, and
Hmm.
confident in continuing to march toward that goal going forward to see if I could continue to improve that bone density.
Absolutely. What did your doctor say? Just curious. Was he or she like, what did you do?
Well, it all depends on the personality of the doctor. My internist perspective seems to be that something like, I guess, strength training is good for prevention, but it's not going to help you as a treatment once you already have osteoporosis.
Hmm.
So I heard that as a challenge
Mm-hmm.
to go
Nice.
to go ahead and see if it would help.
Yeah. That's awesome. Good for you.
Mm.
So at 70 plus, I would say that you're stronger now than you were in your 60s. What does that mean to you personally?
As I get older, I'm able to progress in certain ways,
Hmm.
mentally and physically. That it's not a matter of from here on, it's a decline. Really, you've got to. I think about, and a lot. I know this is common now. What do you want your last 10 years to look like? And we never know when we're in our last 10 years, of course. But I want to remain strong and independent and able to care for myself, and also to help other members of the family. To pick up the grandkids and play and run with them, to be able to get up off the floor.
Hmm. Yes,
Yeah,
totally. Yeah,
yeah.
that independence is huge.
And actually, yeah, I just took a 3-week trip to Japan to visit my family and friends there.
Cool.
And because of a temporary medical problem, my husband wasn't able to lift things. So I did all the heavy lifting of the luggage and whatever was needed.
Wow.
Yeah, and
Good
I
for you.
knew
I'm
I
sure
knew
that
I
felt
could
good.
do that. Yeah.
Totally.
Mhm.
Yes. Very cool. Speaking of friends and family, what do your friends and family say when they see how strong and active that you are?
They're very excited about it.
Yeah.
And especially, I'm glad that my daughters are seeing this as an example of how to stay fit through the lifespan. It's something that they can also do,
Hmm.
and they're both very interested in fitness as well.
That's
So
awesome. Way to set that
it's
example.
good.
That's great.
Yeah, I like doing
Yeah.
that. Mhm.
Yes. And what message do you have or do you want to share with other women listening, especially those who might think it's too late to start?
There are examples with me here and other women too. I've seen lately some articles and videos or news about women in their 80s who are lifting heavy weights, and that's one of my short-term goals is to master the deadlift. But these women are lifting like 300 pounds,
Wow.
and this is possible.
Hmm.
Yeah,
We had
given
a
yeah
member. Oh, sorry. Go
yeah.
ahead.
Go ahead.
We had a member recently at Berwyn join. She's in her early 80s. Well, she's been a member. Similar story to you. She's was a member a long time. Hers is different in the sense that she didn't visit the gym often. Like I always used to see you in classes and working out. But I never really saw this lady, and she switched to our programs and to strength training, and she's like, "Well, of course I'm going to continue." Yeah, she's in her early 80s. I think it's phenomenal.
Oh my gosh.
Yep. She comes 3 times a week.
Uh-huh.
So it's
Oh,
yeah, you're right. It's never too late. So my last question for you, Francine, what does being a strong woman mean to you in this era of your life?
it means continued independence, being able to help care for others, setting an example for people, especially women younger than I am, to continue, with attending to their health and strength throughout the lifespan. I don't know, the whole situation just gives me a structure and goals to my life, which is
Mhm.
important when retired. I just retired a few months ago.
Yeah,
So,
congrats on that.
yeah. Hmm.
That's great.
Thanks. Mm.
Yeah, I think that structure, that's important post-retirement, like, to just have something, plan your day. Well, Francine, that is awesome, and your story is such a beautiful reminder that age truly is just a number. You have proven that strength training can transform not only your body, but your outlook on life as well. And to any woman listening, whether you're 30, 50, or 70, it's never too late to start. Francine's story shows that the body responds to what you give it. When you challenge it, it gets stronger. And if you're ready to take that first step, come visit us at W3 Body. Try our 4-week trial and experience what happens when you train with purpose, strength, and support. Francine, thank you so much for sharing your journey, your proof that strong truly has no age limit.
Yeah, thanks for giving me the opportunity.
Absolutely. Thanks for tuning in to Real Women, Real Results. If you loved this episode, be sure to follow the podcast and leave a review. It helps more women find these powerful stories. If you're local and want to join our gym, check out our 4-week trial. Head to train@w3body.com for more info. And don't forget to follow us on Instagram, w3body_Berwyn and w3body_Elmhurst for more strength, support, and community. See you next time.